Hey guys, so I can't believe it, but 2015 is almost over. And it's been one of the most amazing years I've ever had. So I want to tell you all about it. Every month of the year was eventful. I either went out of town somewhere or I went to a concert or both. At the end of every year I make a video saying what band members I met. And I just want to talk about band members and other famous people I met and places I went. I'm not going to go in a ton of detail because then this video is going to be like an hour long. I'm just going to tell you like everything that I did, and then if you want me to tell you more about a certain person I met or a certain place that I went to, then leave a comment and I will tell you all about it. Let's start with January. I started my year in Florida because I was visiting my grandparents for winter break. And I stopped in Georgia on the way back because we were driving and I live in Virginia. So yeah, 2 states already just in January. Then in February I went to 2 concerts. The first one was the Black Mass Tour, which was headlined by Black Veil Brides. And after the show I met Maddie Mullins from Memphis May Fire, that's a lot of M's. And I met Andy from Black Veil Brides. And I didn't get a picture with Andy, but he did sign the set list that I got. I got the set list the last time I saw them too, and he signed that too. So I have 2 signed Andy Biersack set lists. And the other show I went to was the World Tour, which was co-headlined by Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil. I went to the first leg of the tour and I couldn't get VIP, but this time I got VIP and I met both of the bands, everyone, all the members, and it was great. In March, I went up to New York to go see Never Shout Never. They're my favorite band, and I went all the way to New York for them. And it was very cold, but it was worth it. At that tour from Never Shout Never, I met everyone except Hayden. I met Chris, Taylor, and Ian, who just got kicked out of the band recently. But yeah, I met him. I also met Hayley Kiyoko. You might know her from Disney Channel. She was in that movie Lemonade Mouth and on a few episodes of Wizards of Waverly Place. And then there were these 2 guys called Greenlight Theory, and they were selling their CDs or whatever, and I met them too. So I don't know if they're at all popular, but I met them. Then the next day, I was still in New York, and it was a Saturday, and I was like, what could I do on a Saturday? Well, Saturday Night Live is filmed in New York, and so I was like, I need to meet the cast members. I'm like a huge fan of the show. I've been watching it for years. So after the show, like 20-30 minutes after the show ended, it was kind of funny because I was watching the show in my hotel room, and then we left to go meet them. And I met 6 members of SNL. I met Taryn, Pete, Bobby, Leslie, Colin, Cecily, Kyle, and Sashir. Then in April I went to North Carolina to see All Time Low on their Future Hearts tour. And I met Zach from All Time Low. And I also met Sky from Issues. In May, my friend wanted to try and meet Marilyn Manson because he was coming to the venue, like that's near where we live. And so I guess I could say I met Marilyn Manson, kind of. I didn't get a picture with him, but he was walking through the crowd and he was like, hi, 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 hi. And I said hi, and he like walked into me. So depending on how you see it, I met Marilyn Manson. Also in May, I went to a really awesome vacation. I went to the Bahamas for 2 weeks, like during the middle and endish time of the month. And it was really nice. I went there once before when I was 13, and the beaches are so pretty, and it was just a really nice, relaxing vacation. In June, I went to North Carolina again, and I went to the We Like It Quiet tour, which was a Sleeping with Sirens concert, and it was acoustic. Before the show, I met John from the Somerset, and then after the show, I met Nick Santino and Kellen Quinn. Then in July, I went to Warped Tour, of course. I can't miss Warped Tour, and it was a really fantastic day. One of the best days of the year. I met everyone from Set It Off, although I couldn't get a picture with them. It was just like a quick signing. I met Modson, who was a lot of fun. That rhymed. I met Kevin from This Wild Life. I met Christopher Drew again from Never Shout Never. I couldn't go there without meeting my favorite singer again. I met Trace and Mason from Metro Station. I met these 3 guys from the band 3PM. I've seen them like 3 or 4 different times. They're like on every tour. They just go and promote their bands at places. And then there was some band called We Are Forever that was like trying to promote their band too and sell CDs. And we met this guy named Ricky, and he follows me on Instagram now, so that's cool. Then at the end of July, I started my second big vacation of the year. I was going with my mom on a road trip up to Canada. So I think we left on July 30th. And so July 30th and 31st we were in New York because we stopped in New York on the way there, and then we made different stops around Canada. So at the end of July I was in New York, and now we're moving on to August. I may have been in New York on like the first day of August, I'm not sure. But I was in Canada for 2 weeks, and I have a whole video. I basically filmed every single thing I did, and I'll stick that somewhere on the screen. I'll stick a link to that video. And I visited a whole bunch of family. I was like all over the place. And then on our last 2 days of the trip, we were in New York again, and we saw Lion King on Broadway, which was really cool. We wanted to do that for like forever. Also, when I was in New York, I saw Jane Lynch, and it's kind of like the Marilyn Manson kind of thing, where you could say I met her, or you could be like, no, not really. Like, she was like ready to cross the street, but she was waiting for the light to change to say that people can walk. And so I saw her like waiting to cross the street, and I said, hi, and she said, no. And I was like, okay then. So technically I talked to her, but yeah, that wasn't very nice. All I said was hi. I was just trying to be nice, but whatever. Also, she was really tall. Then in September, I went up to Maryland and I saw 5 Seconds of Summer. I didn't meet any of them. It's hard to meet like big artists like that, but it was a fun show. Yeah, I think it was in North Virginia actually. It was in North Virginia, but I was staying in Maryland with my friend because it was like right by the border. But whatever. I saw 5 Seconds of Summer, that's all that matters. Then in October, I finally saw Bring Me the Horizon. That was the last of my favorite bands that I wanted to see, like of the top favorite bands. And that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And then after the show, I met Sky from Issues again, and he actually recognized me because that was like the 3rd time I've met him. And I also met Oli Sykes, and that was so awesome. He's like one of the top people I wanted to meet, and he was super chill. Then in October, I went to the Back to the Future Hearts tour, which was All Time Low again, and I went all the way up to Washington, D.C. to see them. Then the band Young the Giant came into town. I couldn't go to the show because it was either work or school, and my friend had work, and so we were just gonna go after the show to try and meet the band. And the lady that worked at security like let us go into the venue during the last song, like without a ticket or anything. So we got like a 2-minute concert, which was really cool. It was just weird to like run straight into a concert. Then after the show we met Samir, Eric, and Payan. I don't know how to say his name. I'm not like a huge fan. My friend wanted to go and I kind of like them. But yeah, they were cool. Then in November I saw Miley Cyrus. I went all the way up to Washington, D.C. at the same venue that I saw All Time Low at. I just can't believe that I saw her at like a club show. Like, it was a small venue. I've been a fan of her since I was in middle school, and so it was like so cool to see Miley Cyrus, and I was in the 2nd row right in the middle, and she was like right there. I didn't meet her, of course. It's hard to meet a big celebrity like that, but that was like a crazy show, and I've never gone to a show where they have like costume changes and all kinds of like props and things going on. Even though I love seeing bands just like playing the instruments and just like seeing them, it was cool seeing a whole big show. Then in December, earlier this month, 21 Pilots was here, and I didn't go to the show because I had class. I think it was class or work, one of those two, and so did my friend. But we went after the show and we met Tyler on his birthday. And well, technically his birthday was over because it was like a few minutes past midnight, but we'll just say it was on his birthday. It was his birthday show, so close enough. Then I went to a Panic at the Disco concert, and New Politics was opening for them. And then after the show, I met David and Soren from the band. And I told them about how a few years ago I saw them perform in the little restaurant behind the venue for $6. And I'm like so happy for them for how far they've gone, and they're like big now, touring with these big artists, and it's awesome. Then I saw the Academy Is. I've been like debating on going to the concert. The day of the concert was like finals week, and the concert was during my final review day for chemistry. But then I won tickets to see them, so I was like, well, what can I do? I gotta go to the concert. So I went to see the Academy Is, and both before and after the show, I met William Beckett, who was a little awkward, but he was cool. And then the last person I met was Mac Miller. My friend wanted to meet him, and he was doing a signing at a show at the mall here, so we met him. Yeah, so that was my year. Very eventful. I already have plans to go to a concert in February, and of course I'm going to Warped Tour next year. And I have a few vacation plans that I'm still kind of figuring out exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going, when, stuff like that. So this year I wrote it down. I went to Florida, Georgia, New York, North Carolina, the Bahamas, Canada, all over different parts of Canada, and Washington, D.C. I met 7 actors, 50 musicians, I don't even know how that happened, and I went to 12 different concerts, so it's been pretty eventful. I'm looking forward to 2016. I think it's going to be a great year. So far every year it's just gotten better and better, so just gotta keep going up. So I hope that year 2015 was good, and I hope that 2016 is amazing and the best year of your life. Alright, see you next year. Bye!